Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with the daily coin analysis. Today I will be reviewing YFI. Yearn is a decentralized finance coin. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert. Do your own research. Okay, let's just go into this chart here. YFI was a coin that really did super strongly during decentralized finance summer. In a lot of ways, it kind of, I wouldn't say it led it, but it certainly had huge moves that wasn't really seen in crypto really ever, in my opinion, other than Bitcoin, in terms of the high prices. Never before has there really been a sustainable coin that hit $40,000. You know, I mean, really before this hit this before Bitcoin did, really. Overall, it was just like a super strong coin. And this coin actually taught me a lot of lessons. It mainly taught me that even though something is pumped hugely, like even though this went from 5,000 to like 20,000 or so, or 15,000, you can still buy stuff that's high. And that's really important to understand too. You don't have to just wait until a coin is like totally bottomed out. That's certainly a strategy, you can do it, but like you can also buy when something's really high too. And that's an important lesson to learn too when you're trading altcoins, especially in the next few weeks. You're going to see a lot of coins that start to go really high up, and you can still trade them. Just trade the consolidation. I remember I bought somewhere in like the 13Ks, and then I sold some at 25K if I recall correctly, and then like 30,000 or something like that. And then I still had half my bag, and I didn't sell up here because I thought it was going to go to 50, and I ended up selling more, like I think 25 or something like that. And then yeah, definitely cost myself some profit. But anyways, that's kind of that's just like a short story on YFI, my trading experience with it. Mooned really hard in the summer, and it's also important to understand the context too. Bitcoin was still at like $10,000 or something like that during this run. So I remember this was like 4 to 1 in terms of Satoshi's standpoint. Like, you know, 1 YFI equals like 4 Bitcoin or something like that at the peak. And then at this point, obviously it dumped very, very hardly, or very, very hard. Let's look briefly at it. I mean, obviously incredible growth all throughout decentralized finance in 2020. Price boomed, hit a big downtrend, and then it did one last exhaustion pump on lower volume, and this was really the last bit, and then it went all the way down. It's very important to understand the structure of this. I mean, this is kind of like a double top. I know it's not like an exact double top, but I mean, this is like kind of close enough, like 40K to like 45K. This basically was almost like a swing failure pattern on like higher time frames. And this broke up, and then it really just died. And if you scroll down to lower time frames, I'm not going to do that on this video, but if you scroll down to lower time frames, you can really start to see some of the reversal patterns. Really, you can see a lot of the reversal patterns on lower time frame charts with higher sell volume and like grinding up on low falling volume. The fall of 2020 was very, very harsh for altcoins, and this also is a good example of it doesn't have to be a bear market for altcoins to dump, because Bitcoin was really pumping during this time and altcoins still died. So for all the people that have statements that say, oh, like altcoins aren't going to fall because like you know, if you compare to 2018 and 2019, those were bear markets. Well, guess what? In 2020, this was a very big bull market for Bitcoin, and altcoins still really pulled back. So this is a very good, humbling experience for me, because I still had some altcoins like DOT that really didn't lose too much in USD value, but it really fell huge in BTC value. And it was just a really good reminder to me that even if it's a bull market, like I kept expecting alt USD to go higher because that's how it traditionally goes. But altcoins, alt USD pairs still died off. And this is what happened in the fall. And one interesting thing about YFI is it has these kind of V-shaped reversals. You can kind of see this here. And I actually remember when this started to reverse as well. I think there was like a... I remember at the bottom, I think everyone said that if price went to like 15,000 or 20,000, they were going to liquidate this massive short. And that's what happened. Like the entire crypto community kind of came in and like just started to buy the fuck out of this thing just to liquidate this person. It kind of reminded me of like GME. If you look back at like November, and that kind of sparked this big run really, where this kind of had this big V-shaped reversal, and you don't really see something like this happen as often. You see this more for alt BTC pairs. You do not typically see this for alt USD pairs, but this is a V-shaped reversal, absolutely insane volume, as you can see. Took out all the sellers. I mean, we haven't seen volume like that for the ever in its history after that. Price went up to the 30Ks, pulled back, and then it hit this long accumulation pattern. The reason why I felt pretty confident that YFI was going to do pretty well was because of the way this structure looked. This right here, while there was a lot of volatility, I mean, price kind of ranged, hit back up to all-time high levels in early February. And this was kind of like the altcoin run that we saw as well for many other altcoins. And then it died off. Like a lot of other decentralized finance coins like Alpha, Aave, all those other coins, it kind of died off all throughout March and April. But this one looked differently in the sense that it had these long accumulation periods. The reason why I felt this wasn't a market top, even with this kind of double top pattern, I mean, if you look at before, like the recent price history, I felt like this right here that we currently see is much different than what we saw at the market top in August and September of 2020 because of the way that price accumulated in between each double top and the price action that preceded this first move. There was a lot of accumulation here as well. Whereas you can see on this first move during August 2020, there was like a parabolic move. This was just like up, like nonstop. I mean, like pretty much 5K to 40K, just like within the span of like a month. Absolutely insane growth. Whereas this type of price action where you see price ranging for quite a while, go back up, pull back, more ranging, go back up, pull back. This is much more sustainable than this like big parabolic move. So I remember I kept looking at this and I was saying, oh, like this looks good. I'm going to just like buy this. Of course I didn't buy it. I'm still like kind of frustrated about it. And even today I tried hopping on the train, missed my fill by $50 fucking. And yeah, I didn't get filled today. And I was a little bit kind of mad about that because I mapped it all out and was just trying to be too greedy, I guess, with like my entry. But oh, well, it is what it is. Like I got into another coin instead of the compound. But either way, this still looks really good. I think this still is going to go to like 100,000. The way that, as I said before, this just looks a lot different, like longer accumulation patterns. They just look a lot different than in the fall, or I'm sorry, the summer of 2020. And as you can see here, it's just like absolutely insane growth, this explosion. And when you see price accumulating for a really long time, the expansion move is going to be a lot bigger. And you could even argue that this right here, this range from 50,000 to 30,000 was kind of like its accumulation range. Like you could even argue this. Like this is like totally valid. You can see the highs established with this wick on February 12th. Price took a while to break through this area. And now we see expansion. So where are my targets? I mean, it really hit 95K. So like, that area didn't really get to 100. But it certainly still looks like it should break 100. I mean, I've seen a lot of arguments that YFI is going to start the centralized finance run, and that's totally valid. It kind of really worked well in the last summer of 2020. So I think we could certainly see another run up. If you're looking to buy dips on YFI, I mean, this is an explosive growth. I would probably look for fibs personally, because that's what I like to trade with. I would scale down to lower time frame charts. Gotta find a fib that really works here. This fib is okay. But the fib here will actually be much better when you start to see price kind of petering out a little bit near the top, kind of just like when you start to see it coming down, that's when the fib is really valid, because that's when you know the short-term market top is in. Until this time, I mean, this fib will not be super accurate, to be frank and honest with you. I mean, if this is in fact the market top, which I'm not so sure yet. I mean, there's still like decent volume coming in, as you can see, like in this big push. Then I would target like 72K or something like that, or 73K, where an aggressive entry would be like 76 or 75,000. But I would wait until price starts to kind of range a little bit and look like a short-term top before doing a fib. If you just look at simple SR levels, I mean, because this moves so quickly, there's really not too much available. I mean, as I said, 77K looks kind of like an interesting support level. That's where I would consider buying a dip. But yeah, overall, like this is still like a really bullish coin. I still feel that this is going to be pretty good. And maybe you just have to like do the fib from the bottom too. And maybe like this area is not very good. Maybe something like 75K and 70K are like the areas to target. But again, wait until you see it start to come down before you do the fib. YFI BTC, again, insane growth. This one really was a disgusting fall. I mean, again, with the BTC pair even worse than the other one. In just a few short months, it went negative 88%. So like in the BTC pair. So if you bought like all the way up here, all the way, you know, as I said, 4-to-1 ratio between the YFI and BTC pair, you just like lost tons and tons of money. And this is kind of like what like I lost like a lot of my money because I didn't sell like at the peak nearly. I sold like closer like down here when it was starting to go down. This is like a pretty classic head and shoulders, as you can see, pattern here. This is pretty textbook in my opinion. And when like the market starts to go down too, this is like study this type of chart, because you generally will not ever be able to time the tops and bottoms. But this like this area right here, like when it's making a bearish retest, these are usually good times to get out. And obviously it's going to be hindsight when you say this here, and when you're actually experiencing this real time, you'll just say this is like the dip to buy right here, and this is just going to keep going higher. But when you start to see the warning signs like high sell volume and everything like that, then it's time to realize that this is time to get out. But negative 88% with the BTC pair, absolutely disgusting. V-shaped bottom followed by a long kind of accumulation period that we saw. Price could not break this 1.05 level, and now it is expanding. Generally speaking, because this BTC pair is the one that is not in price discovery, you will be using this pair now for SR levels if you are trading this chart. So if you're trading here, like look, YFI USDT, it pulled back around 100K. That's this level, this 163 level on BTC. Like this was like pretty clear that this was going to be some resistance on the way up. And you'll be using this chart here as SR levels going forward. Like these kind of next levels, like 293, are going to be next up. Now, I don't know if it's going to get all the way up to this former high. That would be actually insane. That would be like 250K or whatever YFI at current BTC prices. That would be pretty impressive if it did, I think. But well, actually not quite that much. I didn't see. But anyways, it would be like quite a lot. But yeah, I guess let's just see. I would use the BTC pair as resistance going forward. And if you want to look to buy dips, there's not much really, there's not many levels in between here. I mean, you can maybe look for this 135 level would be like an area to buy a dip according to volume profile, and maybe like 1.18. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm still bullish on YFI. It could be leading alt season. 2.0 like in the spring for decentralized finance, and we've been in alt season for a while now, but this is even more so. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and good luck.